ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Swami, we are continuing Upanishad Vahini. As part of Upanishad Vahini, we are discussing about Kathopanishad. Swami, please be with us. Please speak through us. Please listen through us. Our humble salutations at your lotus feet, Swami. Sai Ram. Sai Ram, brothers and sisters. Thank you very much for joining Vahini Swadhyaya. We will continue the Kathopanishad discussion. I will share my screen. Sai Ram. We will start with the Shanti Mantra and then we will continue with our discussion. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He make us enjoy our sessions together. May we both strive together. May our studies be bright and brilliant. May there be no misunderstanding between us. Let there be peace outside and within. Om, peace, peace, peace. Sai Ram. We discussed in 2 sessions about the introduction of the Kathopanishad, and also we discussed about the first and second boons, where who is Vajrashrava, who is Nachiketa, and why Nachiketa went to Yama, and discussions about the 2 boons, and the third boon also we discussed. In the third boon, very clearly, Nachiketa asked Yama that, Master, man is mortal, but some say death is not the end, and there is an entity called Atma that survives the body and the senses. Others argue that there is no such entity. Now that I have the chance, I wish to know about the Atma from you. So this is the third boon where we discussed about the significance of the teacher, and then we also went through who were all discussed, like the Yagnavalka story example, and then we took the Yaksha Prashna of Dharmaraja and Yoga Vasista of Sri Rama, Lord Sri Rama, and then we the profound statement which is profound mantra which is in Kathopanishad is the to whom Atma reveals its own form. So it is very clearly stated, saying, Swami is very clearly saying that this Atman cannot be attained by the study of the Vedas or by intelligence or by much hearing of sacred books. It is attained by him alone whom it chooses. To such a one, Atman reveals its own form. So it's a very clear statement from the Kathopanishad, and Swami very clearly stated saying that whoever, basically whenever the person who get the self-realizations, namely self-confidence, self-satisfaction, and self-sacrifice, when he ultimate, when he attained this, when these three go together, there will be a fullness, Purnatva. We discussed all these points, and also Lord Yama will tell to Nachiketa saying that this Shreya Marga and Preyas Marga, Vidya and Avidya. We discussed about these two concepts. Now, let us go ahead and uh, more dwell into more about Atma, what Upanishad is telling, and how Swami is making us to understand. So the first, then, okay, now we understand how the Atma reveals its own form. Now the other statements, other mantras very clearly has been mentioned in Kathopanishad, to whom Atma never reveals. Chapter 1.2 in the second valley, mantra 6, will tell very clearly, Atma never reveals itself to a person who's lacking discrimination, unmindful, and puzzled by the false impression of the wealth. Again and again he comes under my sway. Very clearly, Yamadharmaraja will give the clarity to Nachiketa. We discussed about to whom it reveals. Same way, whoever it will never reveals to a person lacking discrimination, who is in the Preyas Marga, lacking in discrimination, unmindful, and puzzled by the false impression of the wealth, the vanity of wealth, whoever come under that, whoever is more connected to the world, has a less discrimination, he will be coming into the birth and birth cycle basically again and again, and he comes under my sway. So it's clear indication from Lord Yamadharmadaja. And then he follow again saying that to whom, so then from whom we should learn Atma Jnana. And Swami says very clearly, Atman, when taught by an inferior person, is not easily comprehended because it is diversely regarded by the disputants. But when it is taught by him who has become one with Atman, there can remain no more doubt about it. Atman is subtler than the subtlest and not to be known through argument. This point we already very clearly discussed about the teacher. Swami clearly told about how a guru is supposed to be. He should be a pathfinder. He will prepare the royal road to a bright future. He will be helping the pupil unfold and manifest the skills and qualities inherent in him and encourage him to rise the fullest height. He is, no, yes, here where he is capable. The divine is the core in both teacher and pupil. So very clearly Swami mentioned here. So we are discussing this. So it's the guru who takes care of him, who has become one with Atman, who has become one with Atman, meaning he himself is attained that state. There can be remain no more doubt about it. Then basically it is not by the argument. Atman is subtler than the subtlest and not be known through argument. Through sadhana only it can be done. It can be, no, we can realize the Atman only through sadhana and with a guru only who can can teach, who has become one with Atman. Now the next question comes, for whom Atma Jnana qualifies. Swami clearly telling that the human who has heard this and comprehended it well, who has separated that Atman, the very soul of Dharma, from all physical objects and has realized the subtlest essence, rejoices because he has obtained that which is the cause of rejoicing. So, whom he will be, to whom it qualifies. So, there are two things here about the verse 13, and also we discussed about the verse 23. So, the 13 is telling very clearly the human who has heard this and comprehended it well, which means he started very clearly, understood well, and then started his sadhana. Who has separated that Atman, the very soul of Dharma, from all physical objects, has realized the subtlest essence, rejoices because he has obtained that which is the cause of rejoicing. So very clearly, who is getting into the self-realization path, who is going through that self-realization path, he will be eligible to get the Atma Jnana, who get qualifies. So what is that his state, how he's do the journey? This is what explained very clearly here. We'll go further and more about the discussions. And then Swami very clearly explained in Kathopanishad, in the book, basically, realize that all is one the moment these senses, external and internal, are put out of action, discard them as false and misleading, merge them all in the mind. Throw the mind back into the intellect and the individualized intelligence into cosmic intelligence of Hiranyagarbha, and merge the cosmic intelligence into Atmic principle. Then you attain the stage of equanimity of absolute oneness, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That is secret propounded by this Upanishad. That and the fact that all creation is but a creation, a propagation of name and form. Right, I will take 1 minute. Uh, I don't, my apologies for the inconvenience. Sairam. So Swami very clearly talking about Atmic, basically the Atmajnana. So how it will be, realized. So one by one, this whole Upanishad will talk about each and every step. Uh, how it will be revealed. So the person who is qualifies the Atmajnana, who the human heard and comprehended it well, and doing this sadhana very clearly to realize himself, that person supposed to be one the moment of senses, indriyas, external and internal, and put out of action. Discard them as false and misleading. Merge them in all the mind. We will come this particular topic again during the discussion, but just make sure that this particular points we discuss now. So that is the reason I'll just going through this slide. This slide is little bit forwarded actually than the place it is supposed to be. Through the mind back into the intellect and individualized intelligence into the cosmic intelligence of Hiranyagarbha. So it's very clearly saying that the senses is the very, very important point is senses, control of senses. The moment you won the control on the senses and you realized both external and internal senses and put out of action, discard them as false and misleading, which means you are completely coming out of the senses basically. Completely you have a control over the senses and it is not at all impacting on you, and whatever the impact it is there as a false and misleading, it is been discarded. Remember Swami what told in the Sandeha Nivarani, and then we will have a no revisit on that particular topic. So again, I'll go to the verse 6 and 8, and then we will go to the senses part, and then we will come back to this slide. If the buddhi being related to a mind that is always restrained, possesses discrimination, then the senses come under the control. We are talking about the senses here. So the getting the control over the senses. So it's very clearly telling, the mantra is telling, if the buddhi being related to a mind that is always restrained, possesses discrimination, then the senses come under the control, like the good horses of a chariot. Remember in Gita Vahini we discussed, we will go ahead in that. So which means the intellect plays a major role, which is being related to the mind, always restrained. Steadfastness is there, and it has a discrimination very clearly, has a control over the senses. So your buddhi, your intellect is the one of the main driving force, like the good horses of a chariot. Swami is also saying that if the buddhi being related to a mind that is restrained, again the same, possesses discrimination and therefore always remains pure, then the embodied soul attains that goal from which he is not born again. So he said very clearly, so, Lord Yama said very clearly, sorry, the one who lacking discrimination, unmindful and puzzled by the false impression of wealth, he will be fall again. He will be coming again and again. He comes under my sway. He is in the birth and life, basically birth and death cycle, basically. But whereas in here, very clearly saying that if the intellect being always restrained, possesses discrimination, then the senses under the control plus always remains pure, then the embodied soul attains the goal. Let revise our mind, remind the Sandeha Nivarani. I hope this point we discussed many times, but again coming up. Swami very clearly told Sandeha Nivarani when the people, he himself as a student, when he asked the question, saying that the mind is in Coppola, that is in your head, ego is in your heart, chitta is in your stomach, intellect on your tongue. So very clearly, Swami is given that statement. So if your chitta is cleaning up very clearly, you are cleansing your cleansing your uh, chitta. If you are cleaning your chitta, how it will be cleaned when your heart is filling this already ego is there in the heart. If you are filling the heart with so much of love, having Swami in the heart, making sure that we are continuing with the Swami, with his messages, with his form and name, with his smarana, and continuing our sadhana, having an enormous love on Swami, then that ego will be vanishing in the heart. As long as ego is getting decreasing and vanishing, likewise chitta will be cleaning up and cleansing of chitta will happen, and also the mind will not have a thoughts. Obviously your intellect will be pure, remains pure. So this very clearly Swami told in the Sandeha Nivarani. So it is coming here in the Kathopanishad very clearly, same like a question and answer. And Yamadharmaraja in the form of Yamadharmaraja, the Paramatma is telling, if the buddhi being related to mind that is restrained, possesses discrimination, therefore always remains pure, then the embodied soul attains the goal. So the very clearly Swami is telling that the senses plays major role, controlling on senses play major role. Again, Swami very clearly told in the Kathopanishad, also on 23rd May 1990 summer course, the Kathopanishad, Swami is very clearly telling that the Kathopanishad has compared the senses to horse. What are the characteristics of a horse? It can run fast, but once the bridle is put on its mouth, then entire movement can be controlled. How is that a small bridle can control such a large animal? For the horse, the mouth is most important. Once the mouth is bridled with the entire animal comes under the control. For me, giving very beautiful example, basically. When it is been tied and then very clearly with the bridle and then taking care of it, then it comes under the control of that animal itself. The human context, mouth is most important among five senses of organs. Again, we'll remember the intellect is on your tongue. That's what Swami has very clearly told. So you can acquire the capacity by controlling the speech. By controlling the tongue, you can acquire the capacity to master the world. Using the power of walk, the power of speech, you can achieve something splendid and indulge in something mean. So it's very clearly Swami is telling that too, you should have a controlled tongue, controlled mouth. If a intellect is there on the tongue, meaning you will experience more silence. When we will experience more silence, when our heart is filled with Swami and our cleansing of Chitta has been done, then automatically the mind will not have any thoughts and then the intellect will be there on the tongue. That's experiencing of silence. Swami also telling very clearly the tongue is prone to four types of vices, that is uttering falsehood, talking ill of others, indulging in scandal, and excessive talk. So these four things, I don't want to get into more details about these four because we discussed in Gita Vahini all these points. So more utilizing in a prayer's way, the more we utilize our intellect in a prayer's way, basically, the tongue also uttering falsehood, talking ill of others, indulging in scandal. When we will do all those things, the one which, when we are very much connected to the world, then only we can do that. So coming out of all these four is very clearly giving undermine. So these four tendencies undermine the peace of mind. Swami is telling very clearly the students should try to avoid these four evils to adhere truth and righteousness. To go into the truth and righteousness path, we should come out of these four. These four, if whenever we have this thought process, I mean, when we are uttering these things, meaning we are connecting to the world. So Swami very clearly saying in this horse point of view, by taking an example of horse, our mouth should be very clearly has to be controlled, the most sense of organ. But this is connected to the four things which we have already discussed in Sandeha Nivarni: heart, stomach, chitta, and manas. Again, Swami is very clearly saying that Ashwa means fickle, Medha means intellect. So Ashwamedha Yaga means basically controlling of the fickle mind. So Swami very clearly giving the clarity on the Ashwamedha. Whoever control that horse, whoever control this fickle mind, he will become the Dhimanta, a man of wisdom. Again, Swami giving very clear understanding. If there was no contact between the external happenings and the sense organs, the individual was composed. It is not so easy to control the sense organs. The easier path is to develop an attitude of equipoise. You must inquire how to achieve equal mindedness without giving way either to joy or agitation. You must develop the conviction: I am not the sense organs, I am not the body, I am the Atma. Now coming to the Swami brings basically the sense controlling of senses, getting the understanding about what you are by doing the external happenings, basically by avoiding, by discarding the external uh, interference in our mind, having control over the senses, coming out of that, then you will have a equipoise stage. So where you will have when we are not under the control of senses, obviously the mind will come into the equanimity. Not controlled by the senses, not under the control of senses means you are not getting in any emotion, we are not connecting to the worldly things. So obviously we are getting into the mind of equanimity, and then we are realizing that I am not the sense organs, I am not the body, I am the Atma. So that realization should come. That realization we should develop. That's what Swami is telling from all these mantras very clearly. Again, Swami is very clearly telling in the mantra 13, the wise man should merge his speech in his mind and his mind in his intellect. He should merge this intellect in the cosmic mind and this cosmic mind in the peaceful self. Now remember that the slide which we are talking about, the Hiranyagarbha. So Swami very clearly saying that the wise man should merge his speech in his mind in his intellect. He should merge his intellect in the cosmic mind and the cosmic mind in the peaceful self. So it gives a very clear saying that, say, if I want to talk about something, say Kathopanishad, if we are talking about, then the mind should merge in his, basically it should merge in his speech. completely with so much of dedication on that, and then he need to merge in his speech, completely come into his speech, and that should be in the mind. Means this thought, the thought supposed to be your the talk, whatever we are doing, mind, and his mind is in his intellect. Intellect is on tongue, so mind, basically mind, thought, word, and he should merge his intellect in the cosmic mind, meaning completely it is merged in Swami. So whatever I'm talking, supposed to be whatever it is coming and through the intellect, whatever that the talk we are doing, that supposed to be integrated with Swami. Then he can experience the cosmic mind in the peaceful self. Swami very clearly is giving this understanding. So the Atma point of view, how where never reveals to a person who is not lacking discrimination, who should from whom it should be learned, the teacher part. Atma Gnana, to whom it qualifies, the man who actually heard this and comprehended well and doing this sadhana very clearly. And then how it has to be, because he has to control his senses and he should have a complete understanding about and control over his intellect. And then only you are, meaning you can experience the his own, he will have his own self realization and he can experience his peaceful self by whenever he has a conviction that I am the Atma. Now come to the what is Atma. Swami is very clearly telling that what is Atma. Atma has no form. It is infinite, indescribable, and immeasurable. The smallest of the smallest, the fullest of the fullest. So Atma has no form. It is infinite, indescribable, and immeasurable. Nirgunam, Niranjanam, Sanatana Niketanam, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Nirmala Swarupinam. Many times Swami has told in these discourses. Nirgunam, Niranjanam, Sanatana Niketanam, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Nirmala Swarupinam. Such an Atma Tattva is immanent in every individual, indeed every being, in the form of consciousness. Your life as a human being will acquire a meaning and purposeful only when you realize the consciousness. And Swami is giving very clearly an example also. There are, I think this is also we discussed one previously. Amarnath sir has explained this somewhere in 2022. There are several electric bulbs glowing here. Through the bulbs are different sizes, colors, and capacity. The electric energy manifesting as light through them is one and the same. The electric light or electric energy manifesting as a light through them is one and the same. Similarly, the same divine power is present in every living being and makes it function. That is Atma Tattva. Such a beautifully Swami simple example he is giving. Whichever the same, the divine power in present in every living being makes it function. That is only the Tattva, Atma Tattva. I often written as Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema. So Electric Swami is very clearly is telling that the bulbs are glowing, several electric bulbs are going. Through the bulbs are, though the bulbs are different sizes, meaning the humans different, all the humans are, all the living elements are different in sizes, colors, and capacity, but the energy manifesting as a light through them is one and the same. That understanding that divine power is Atma Tattva, that is only that divine power is only the Atma Tattva. Swami is very clearly telling Satya is the electricity. How he is manifested that also Swami very clearly saying that Satya is the electricity, Dharma is the wire, and Shanti is the bulb, Prema is the effulgence. If you want to attain Atmananda, if you follow that principle, then you can realize yourself. That Atmananda will be non-dualism and true wisdom. That Atma Tattva we can realize only when we follow this four principles, Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema. Then we can realize the Atma Tattva. This Swami very clearly, with a simple example, Swami is giving. What is Atma? It doesn't have a form. You can experience this Atma Tattva. You can realize the Atma Tattva. How? Through Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, if we are going ahead. Controlling of this, then this process, controlling of the senses, realizing the self, going through the sadhana, and then getting into the peaceful, understanding the self, peaceful self, then only we can realize the Atma Tattva and Atma. Again, we'll go ahead with the one more example. Swami very clearly telling in the Kathopanishad, very clearly Swami is telling on the senses part. Again, Swami is very clearly saying that, see, again, the same thing which we have again coming up basically. Realize that all is one the movement of senses. The previously what we have done, again it has been taken back here. Basically, external and internal and put off out of action. Discard them false and misleading, merge them in all the mind. That's what we discussed now about all the senses and also taken the example of when we follow that controlling of the mind, Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, then merge them in all the mind. Through the mind back into the intellect and individual intelligence into cosmic intelligence of Hiranyagarbha. And they merge the cosmic intelligence into Atmic principle. Have this is one, actually there was a lot of questions came up, and again the mind went into the silence mode with the answers. What is when I come into the cosmic intelligence of Hiranyagarbha, how I can understand that Hiranyagarbha, how I can merge into that Hiranyagarbha, and then how I can realize myself, my peaceful self. When in getting all these questions very clearly, Swami is very clear. Of course, Swami has given very clear estimate, given clarity here. You must look at this objective world with Jnana Chakshu, not with the Charma Chakshu. You must comprehend the transcendent reality which is beyond the body and the mind. The body is like a water bubble. It will disappear one day or other. You are not the body that has birth, growth, decay, and ultimately death. Meaning you are eternal. That's what very clearly said. Nirgunam, Niranjanam, Sanatana, Niketanam. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Nirvikalpa Swarupa. Nirmala Swarupinam. So it is very clearly saying that you have that kind of understanding. Have that understanding, ensure that you are look at this objective world with a jnana chakshu. How I am saying this as an objective world? Just took Swami's discourse as a kind of an example, basically. Uh, this is a kind of me getting ready, understanding about this Atma Tattva. I'll go for a dream. See, it's an experience of everyone. If, say, for example, I am in a dream, I slept, I'm in a dream. In that dream, very clearly in a deep sleep state, I got a dream. In that dream, there was a beautiful resort. I have attended a marriage. There, my parents are there. My all siblings are there. So many, my family members are there. So many friends are there. The wedding is happening. So much of happiness. People are talking. People are in glittering dresses. All is happening very clearly. And that resort is beautiful. It has it has a covered by a kind of a waterfall area where you have a beautiful weather. All is happening very clearly, and I'm seeing, I'm able to see everyone. I'm talking to them. If all this happening, then I woke up. I came up in a jagrata state. I wake up. I'm on the bed only. Then I realized that, oh, this is the dream. My understanding went in this way, basically. Oh, this is the dream. Idi kala. Now, how come those mountains has come? How come that beautiful resort is manifested? How come all the people were there? My parents are there, siblings are there, many people who I know, they also attended. Surprisingly, some of the people are who I can't think about it to be there in that function, they are also there. Who manifested that? This is the same person who manifested that whole environment. I became the world. I became that mountain. I became that waterfall. I became that resort. I manifested myself as my parents, my siblings, my friends, my well-known people. Everything is came from me only. The moment I opened my eyes, the moment I came into the wake up state, then Sairam. So, so then what happened immediately? All that, sorry, 1 minute, Sairam. Then all that disappeared. Oh, the kala. Is it a dream? Meaning, is this a maya? Likewise, when I started my birth and when I left my body, my jiva will talk about the same. Oh, my dream is done. I am on the deathbed only, but I can realize that though I have not left the body, but I can realize that on that bed saying that, oh, whatever till today I have done is just like that, is complete. Is that done? I'm just leaving from the body. So likewise, whatever the dream has happened, but in that dream, you became the evident. You are the evidence. Because that dream happened only in your mind, only in you, basically, when you are in sleep state. Likewise, Paramatma manifested himself in all this world, all that universe. He became everything. He became smallest of smallest to highest of highest, and made everything. And the universe is, entire universe is with Atma Tattva. So the Tattva, whatever I saw in my dream, is my Atma Tattva. What my mind, the state of mind, what is there, how it is, I am experiencing how I am. My mother might be talking something which is again came from my mind only. It is manifested form. Likewise, everything has from me only manifested. And I felt it is a kind of a Maya. And that is nothing but I am as an evident, I am seeing all that dream. Likewise, if I am as a evident, looking at this world through the mind back into the intellect and individual intelligence into cosmic intelligence of Hiranyagarbha. So, which is nothing, meaning you are putting out of action as a evident if you are experiencing that intellect, that with the discrimination, and you are experiencing that, and you are is an evidence, and then you are following that Satya Dharma Shanti Prema, then you can realize this self, the peaceful self, and understand the tattva, that is Hiranyagarbha, and then that you are merging into your Atma Tattva. Then Swami is telling that equanimity, absolute oneness, nirvikalpa samadhi. Whatever is happening in the sleep state, if I take into deep sleep state and in this state of turiya, if I am experiencing it as an evident, then the Paramatma Tattva can be understood. That's what Swami is talking about, the absolute oneness, nirvikalpa samadhi. So if we memorize this, then the Jnana Chakshu or the Charma Chakshu, we can understand what is Jnana Chakshu, what is Charma Chakshu. When I, as an evident, when I am going this, so you, here I understood that I am the Atma. When I'm seeing this world as an Atmic, so basically with that particular perception, with that particular vision, which I'm going through, saying that it is I am with only with Swami, I am the manifestation of his Rupa only, and I am the Atma, then this whole world is like my dream which I got during my sleep state. If we go with realizing that, doing this sadhana and experiencing this, that I am part of Paramatma Tattva, that is the Hiranyagarbha, and then merging with and the entire getting the complete Satchit Ananda is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. What Swami is getting absolute oneness. So whoever is attained this, therefore realize Atma Tattva. The Atma Tattva is eternal without birth and death. It has no beginning, middle or end. That's what Swami very clearly explained. Again, Swami is very clearly saying that, again, the point is coming up here. Atma should be regarded only as a witnessing consciousness. When alone, it will be the true Atma. You are only a witness. You, through the help of your organs and your body, are the witnessing all the things around you. Atma is present everywhere. Whatever I saw in my dream is Atma only, but in the different forms, different types of living elements. All that I saw, but I am seeing as a witnessing consciousness only. So when I'm seeing, in this sleep state, which we can experience in the deep sleep and Turiya state itself, in the Turiya state itself, what Swami is telling the same. Swami is explained the same and is here very clearly. There is a state which is higher than all three states, and it is referred to as the Turiya state. Here is one small example. Again, giving Swami as an example, the dream as one of the example that we can take, but saying very clearly the world point of view, Swami giving very clear example, saying that what you see in the mirror is something distinct and different from your face. In the image, your right eye appears as left eye. The left eye appears as the right eye. One should conclude that what you see in the mirror is only an image, not yourself. Whichever is, if we connect to that particular example, we have taken the dream as an example, and then whatever that uh, basically the wedding and all that, how we have done, how we do our manifestation in different forms. If we take that as an example, very clearly say that one should conclude that what you see in the mirror is only an image and not yourself. The reason for this state is the instrument in which you see yourself, namely the mirror, is something different from you. Hence, one who sees different from what is being seen. So, the Gnana Chakshu and Charma Chakshu, whatever we are seeing in the mirror itself is not correct. My right eye is looking like left, left eye is looking like right. And in the mirror itself, whatever it is happening is not distinct from whatever it is said. So, have the Gnana Chakshu, see that you are just playing a role here, and then see yourself as a recognize. It is important to recognize permanent truth that Atma remains unchanging. It is you, what you are seeing here is very clearly is the world. It is not the truth. Atma Tattva, where we supposed to be in that truth. So person, the we should be regarded only as a witnessing consciousness. But again, that statement is very profound statement. Swami has told, when alone it will be a true Atma, which means which is completely away no, came out of that, discarded the world, and true self, experiencing the true self with the Swami. That is only that alone, when it is alone only the true Atma. Now that comes under the, so after discussing all these things, then it is hope it is clear. Anoraniyam Mahato Mahiyan, the Mahavakya of Kathopanishad. Swami very clearly says, Anoraniyam Mahato Mahiyam, God exists everywhere, and manifests himself as both infinite, basically an infinite and infinitesimal. So now whatever the example we have taken, I'm just going through that particular example and then experiencing this, basically, narrating this basically. So when you are there, so if it is the Paramatma is manifested. Swami very clearly told that I have manifested myself to see my basically the love in myself, basically, right? So it's manifested from him, the whole manifestation which is happening to love, in adoring of him, basically loving him, basically. So when you as an Atma, when we are saying Anoraniyam Mahatomahiyam, God is exist everywhere. He is existing in us, manifest himself. He is manifesting himself in us. We are experiencing him. Then as both infinite and also infinitesimal, basically. So very clearly Swami is telling here, Today, man tries to know divinity with his mind. To visualize divinity, you should understand the principle of Atma or I. The Atma is formless. So long as you are attached to your form, you will not understand what Atma means. Everyone introduce himself using the letter I, which is nothing but the Atma. Though not seen, the Atma is present in one and all. This Atma is all pervasive. We took the example in all these things very clearly. This I is there. This Atma is very clearly is there. Is present in one and all. This Atma is all pervasive. Swami is again very clearly telling in the Kathopanishad, in the Upanishad Vahini book, the Atma is capable of being known only after the vast perseverance. One has to divert the mind from its natural habitat, the objective world, and keep it in unwavering equanimity. In how many times he tells is very clearly, it is very clearly saying that this discard, divert mind from natural habitat, the objective world, and keep it in unwavering equanimity. One can succeed in this solitary internal adventure and overcome the monsters of egotism and illusion. That victory alone remove grief. Again coming back into the same thing, where the heart is, where any say a small portion of ego is also there, it has to be vanished. The complete egotism, I mean complete ego has to go, and the complete fullest of love supposed to be is manifested in the heart. Then only the cleansing of chitta and the mind will happen. Then only the victory alone can, that victory only can remove the grief, because we understood the truth. So it's very clear. So we mean he understood the truth means realizing the Atma, self-realization, understanding that we are not the physical body, we are the Atma, we are with Swami. And Swami is manifested in us itself. So when we have that all understanding, then it is very, that is what the Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiya. Swami is clearly saying in the Kathopanishad, particularly um, the 14th mantra of third Valli, Swami very clearly saying that 14th mantra of third Valli of this Upanishad wakes up the individual from the sleep of ages and leads to him towards the goal. This Upanishad announces that there is nothing higher than higher than or even equal to the Atma. Like a light hidden by a smoke, the thumb-sized Supreme Spirit is eternally shining. Just as the torrent of rain falling on a peak is shuttered downward in 1,000 streams, the individual jiva who feels many and difference. So very clearly saying that the 14th mantra, what is that 14th mantra? Very clearly, Uttishta Jagrata, which is very famous quote from Swami Vivekananda. The Uttishta Jagrata, arise, awake, approach the great and learn. Like the sharp edge of a razor is that path. So the wise say, hard to tread and difficult to cross. So it's very clear saying that we should wake up, ensure that we are all in that atmic journey. It is we are with Swami. So that is the reason Swami very much specifically told the 14th mantra of third Valli, that is the second chapter 2.1.14 basically. So third Valli, because four Vallis are there. Uh, so Swami clearly saying that Uttishta Jagrata. And here this statement which Swami written on his own handwriting, my mission is to raise the consciousness of a man to a level at which he neither rejoices nor mourns over anything. In that supreme state, one is going through the rebirth and redeath each moment. For these acts are one and the same, emerging from the formless into form, merging from the form into the formless. See, this statement is such a beautiful, Swami very clearly said, my mission is to raise the consciousness of a man to a level which he neither rejoices or mourns over anything. So he came into such a state, basically, the Sai devotee, he came into the such a devotee, such a state, basically. In that state, even if he is there with you, even he is taking a rebirth and redeath, basically, he completely merge in him. So he, though he is going through the birth and death life cycle, he'll come to a state, basically. What Swami is very clearly saying that into form, formless into form, merging from the form into the formless also. Then there is no success or adversity, no joy or pain. When the devotee attains this oneness, their journey towards me ceases. I will completely cease. I mean, that journey will be ceased because he become basically he merged in me. What Swami is very clearly saying that. For they will be me with me endlessly. So the whoever Swami said very clearly, my mission is to raise that consciousness. So we should come into that consciousness where at the level of either he need rejoices and mourns for anything. So the Upanishad Vahini, particularly the Kathopanishad is very clearly is saying about Atma, what is Atma, how you are experiencing the Atma Tattva, what is why it is Anoraniyam Mahtomahiyam. And that particular aspect also Swami has given so many examples, say the dream, the electricity part, and all these things like basically experience this supreme peace, no peaceful self state. Again, Swami, I will take another 5 minutes actually. In the verse 9 and verse 10, sorry. So very clearly, Swami is telling his form is not an object of. So, how you realize when you are getting into Satchit Ananda state where you are getting merged into it, Swami, what kind of form he is, how he is basically. Then he said very clearly, his form is not an object of vision. No one beholds him with the eye. One can know him when he is revealed by the intellect free from doubt and by constant meditation. Those who know this become immortal. When the five instruments of knowledge stand still, together with the mind, and when the intellect does not move, that is called supreme state. The object of vision, he is not an object of vision. He is not an object of vision. No one beholds him with the eye. Swami taken a beautiful example saying that, do you know how God looks? It is impossible to describe that great person, brilliant like the sun. Swami take the quote of from the Purusha Suktam saying that Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasah Parasthat. Where is he present? Beyond darkness. Unless we transcend the darkness of ignorance, we cannot experience him. That's what he's saying, that one can know him when he is revealed by the intellect free from doubt and by constant meditation. Unless we transcend the darkness of ignorance, we cannot experience him. Those who approach the Vedas, the faith and dedication, with faith and dedication, find the path very simple indeed. The person who opens their eyes can see billions of stars in the sky, but one who is blind or refuses to look cannot see even a powerful bulb kept in front of him. We are unable to discriminate the divinity, discern the divinity, although it shines with the brilliance of millions of suns. We must open the eyes of faith and devotion. And another, the picture is shown basically, Swami has told in the discourse very clearly, though the rain falls, though it shows the different waterfalls are coming up, but you are merging into that peaceful lake. And it is that the flowing water will be going on to merge with Swami. So the same rain looks like a different waterfalls, but getting into the one particular lane. Likewise, again, these different forms of Atma Tattva is the same. Paramatma Tattva is the same. He manifested in all those things. All we need to experience is Atma Tattva. So Swami very clearly saying that he is not an object of vision. No one can behold him with the eye. With the perfect sadhana, which is basically the constant meditation and intellect free, basically from the doubt, then we can understand, we can realize him, and he can become the immortal. The last verse mantra in Kathopanishad, the 13th mantra, the last basically in the Chaturthavalli, Swami very clearly, he is to be realized first as an existence limited by upadhis, and then his true transcendental nature. Of these two aspects, Atman realized as existence leads the knower to the realization of his true nature. Realized first as an existence limited by upadhis. By your role, your existence is there basically limited by upadhis. And then his true transcendental nature. Various examples that we have uh, on this particular lane, where as a role I might be taking care of it, but understand my transcendental nature, understand your own transcendental nature. In these two aspects, Atman realized as existence leads to the lower. There is one story, it's basically one Kaushika Muni, which is who completes his Sandhya Vandana. While he's doing Sandhya Vandana, a sparrow or a small bird uh, will put the Ashuddha. Then he realized, he looked at that bird, and then that bird will become ashes, into ashes. And this Kaushika will go for a bhiksha. The one who is actually the homemaker who's supposed to offer the bhiksha, she says that please wait, I am doing something. But he started asking, he completely continuously do that. But then immediately after so many times when he called, then the homemaker come, the mahila come out, and then that gruhini will talk about, will talk to the the Kaushika Muni saying that, hey, I am not that bird who get into the ashes. I cannot, I'm already doing my job. I'm taking care of some householder. I have asked you, I requested you to please wait. Why you are not getting, no, why you are not waiting? I'm not such kind of, you don't be serious on me. I'm not such kind of bird who get into the ashes. Very, very with so much of self-confidence, she will tell that. This Kaushika Muni, we are all known about this story. Kaushika Muni will get, very much, surprised. Then he will go to the other butcher, and then he will ask the lady. Lady will tell, go to the butcher. He will tell the truth. Then the Kaushika will go there, and then the butcher will say, he will be doing some role that as a butcher. Then he will go. He will say he complete, and then he will complete his work service to his parents and come back and will tell whatever the role that you are doing is just is your upadhi. It is what I understood basically. It is just a role I'm doing. My role is my upadhi. But what I am is Atma. When I understood these two aspects and realized my existence is there with my Swami and understand the realization of my true nature and connect with Swami, then my sadhana will continue. I have to be with Satya Dharma Shanti Prema and then merge and then continue with Swami and having the enormous love in my heart, then obviously me as an Atma experiencing his love and then trying to merge with him in this birth and death cycle. Swami is telling the same one who has purified their intellect can see the Atma in its very life as in a fine mirror. The spiritual wise person is liberated by their visualization of Brahman, but the worshipper reaches the world of Brahman after the death. There the worshipper merges in Hiranyagarbha, and at the end of a day, Brahma is liberated along with the Hiranyagarbha itself. So it's a profound statement very clearly. As and when realizing Swami, going through the sadhana, getting into the birth and life cycle, understanding in each and every birth and life cycle, understanding, and then the worshipper merges in Hiranyagarbha. So then he will be on one end of the day he can understand, he can merge into the Brahman. This is what the Upanishad will talk about the Atma, Atma Tattva, and Atmic journey, and the Mahavakya. So the end of the story is Nachiketa understood what without a flaw this knowledge of Brahman, and Yama taught him, and he was realized by death and attained Brahman. This is what Kathopanishad. But if we look into it, the Yama is me, the Nachiketa is also I, and the Agnishtava is also I. If we understood all that Kathopanishad very clearly, then this Atma only is experiencing all this, and then understanding that, and then having the self-realization and merging within the Paramatma, experiencing the self realization, experiencing the self is nothing but experiencing Swami and into the eternal peace. Saira. Thank you, Swami, for all the understanding the takeaway from the Kathopanishad. Sairam, thank you everyone for joining the Vahini Swadhyaya session. Sairam, brothers and sisters. Thank you. We will go ahead for the discussion. Sairam, Amarnath sir.
Sairam, sir. Sairam, Sairam. Beautiful, sir. What a beautiful explanation. The explanation of what is Atma, and the explanation of Atma Tattva with this beautiful example of the manifested dream, the example of the mirror, and the image you see is not your true self. The world you see is not the truth, was beautifully explained. And this story of Kaushika Muni and the example of Upadhi, the role of Atma, which is the true self. Beautiful, beautiful takeaways, Mahendra sir. Thank you very much. I enjoyed every bit of it. Sairam.
Sairam, Sairam, Amarnath sir. Sairam, Basavaraj sir.
Sairam sir, a very insightful session. And one of the profound statement that I looked into here is when Swami says, my manifestation is to rise your consciousness." Means the devotee's consciousness. That is the basic purpose of manifestation. Was very profound, sir. Thank you, sir. That helps a lot of devotees on hearing that statement, where our consciousness level rises by these teachings, is very profound, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sairam.
Sairam.
This statement I saw that Swami written on his own hand, in his own handwriting, sir. My
Mm.
mission is to rise. I mean, the snippet
Mm.
with Swami's signature is my
Mm.
mission is to rise. I will get that actually the picture and then I will share. It is
Mm.
very profound actually.
Very profound. And also in some of the other books I read, my manifestation is not verily to solve your life problems. It is a kind of an indirect statement. The first preference of my
Mhm.
manifestation is to rise your consciousness. Then comes your the second comes your worldly problem, solving your worldly problems. So I read somewhere, but I'm not able to remember, sir.
Sairam, Sairam.
Yes, sir. Silence, sir.
You'll get it, sir. Sairam. Thank you, sir. Sairam Chandrasekhar Gaud, sir.
Thank you, Mahendra, for the nice talk. Many things have been clearly explained. Thank you.
Sairam, Sairam, sir. Sairam, Sister Radhika. Any inputs, sister?
సాయిరామ్ సార్ నేను ఫస్ట్ టైం జాయిన్ అయ్యాను. ఇంకా కొంచెం టైం పడుతుంది. నాకు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయడం కొంచెం కష్టము. సో
Sairam, Sairam.
థ్యాంక్ యూ. చాలా చక్కగా బాగా వివరంగా చెప్పారు. కానీ మాకు అర్థం కావాలంటే కొంచెం టైం పడుతుంది.
Sairam,
అంటే
Sairam.
మళ్ళీ విన్నానంటే ఈజీగా అర్థం చేసుకోగలము. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Sairam. Thank you,
సాయిరామ్
sir.
సాయిరామ్.
Sairam, Sairam. Sairam Srinivas, sir.
Ram sir, I have enjoyed your this thing in the last two sessions. Today I joined a little bit late, but wonderfully have this thing brought out all this how to realize this Atma Tattva, what is Atma, and you have brought out very nicely, sir. Really, I enjoyed your session, sir. Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. I don't have any inputs to give because everything you have explained in detail, so I don't have anything to these things, sir, say or give input. Thank you very much, sir. I am enjoying your sessions every Saturday. Thank you very much, sir. Sairam.
Sairam, Sairam. Thank you, sir.
Sairam.
Sairam, thank you, sir. Sairam Sridhar, sir, I'm not sure at what time you have joined in the call. Sorry, sir, for mentioning this because you said that you will be joining late.
I joined it. Sairam.
Sairam, Sairam, sir.
I joined it. Sorry, just a second. I joined at 8 o'clock. I think I should listen to your recording, but I could feel the lucid flow of expression. Everything explained about Atma Tattva. That we are not this body, that we are not this mind, we transcend the mind, we go beyond the mind, and this intellect should be just a pure reflection is a point I could take towards the end. But anxiously waiting to hear out the recording, and then I will contemplate on it. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Thank you, sir. Sai Ram. Sai Ram, sir, we have completed the Kathopanishad with this session. We will discuss with Basavaraj sir, and then we will come to the, when we will start the Ishavasyopanishad. So next session, it could be, we can start Ishavasyopanishad, or we will start the Ishavasyopanishad on 22nd. Sir, Basavaraj sir, are you okay? Yeah, I think 15th, sir, is not available.
Yes, sir. So I'm ready to start Ishavasya on February 22nd, sir, for 3
Yes, sir.
sessions.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Sai
So
Ram.
next week we may not be having the session, sir. We will start the Ishavasyopanishad from 22nd. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sai Ram, sir.
Sai Ram, thank you. Sai Ram, thank you very much for joining the Vahini Swadhyaya session. We will conclude the session with Asatoma, followed by the Samastaloka and Jayakar to Swami. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityonma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की
Jai
जय.
Sai Ram,
साई
sir.
राम,
Thank you
साई
very
राम,
much.
Sai Ram, sir.
Thank you.
साई राम, साई राम, साई.
Uh, Mahendra sir, please
Yes,
share
sir.
the slides if you can.
Yes, sir. I will do that, sir, immediately.
So and with the recording, I will like to listen. Thank you.
Yes,
Sai
sir.
Ram.
Sai Ram. Thank you, sir. Yes.